now.
Oh, what up, leaguers? Welcome to the Spectacular Spoiler League. I'm the Pandan Superman, the mayor of Hype City, HazyRome, and as always, I'm joined by the God of Night, the Prime Minister of Post-Production, DeepBoyce. And today, we're talking about Arrowverse Week 5, but we're going to do things a little bit differently here today, and I'm going to get right into that in just 1 second. But first, if you like anything we say during this video, feel free to hit the subscribe button, because that's how we're going to get you to come back and get you to listen to future shows. Hit that like button to help this video get out there. And, by all means, enjoy the rest of this video. But this week, we're going to be changing things up a little bit about how we do the Arrowverse weekly conversations. So, number one, we're going to be doing a top 5 power ranking for the week. So it's going to be the top 5 characters from the Arrowverse that myself and DeepBoyce, we're going to have 2 different lists for each of us, that myself and DeepBoyce think topped out the Arrowverse character power rankings and whatnot, and basically had the most baller weeks. Number 2, we're going to do our top 3 Bumasses of the week. Self-explanatory, people. 3 people or 3 things or 3 points that we think were not dope about the Arrowverse weekly episodes this week. And number 3, we are going to do a little bit of One's Gotta Go, where I and DeepBoyce mention which episode this week we think has got to go and which one's got to stay. But that being said, DeepBoyce, it's lit this week with Arrow just wrapping up, bro. Deathstroke coming back. DeepBoyce, I need to know, what is your top 5 power ranking for this week?
All right, are we starting with number 1, or we're starting with number 5 and working our way down?
We working our way up, technically, right? 5 to 1.
Yes.
So up.
So
let's do it. I need to know, DeepBoyce. I need to know.
Number 5.
Your number 1 got to be my number 1, because we know what's number 1 is. We know what it is, bro.
Number 5 in my top rankings for this week.
Yeah.
Is the best strip club in Central City, the Golden Booty.
That's what I'm talking about, baby.
That's number 1 right there. I mean, with a name like that, I mean, not number 1, I'm sorry. That's number 5. That's starting off the list. With a name like that, I mean, come on. There's no way I can't put it on my top 5 list.
I mean, the Golden Booty sounds pretty good to me, bro. I mean, I can't hate on you for that, brother. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's booty.
And it's golden. You know
and it's golden, baby.
This
like my 2 favorite things, gold and booty.
They took Flash in a different direction that we haven't seen yet.
Yes.
And I appreciate it. And I hope they revisit someone else. I don't know. Somebody else gets married. Maybe Cisco. And they pay a visit again to the Golden Booty.
That would be pretty damn dope, man. Is it my turn for number 5, though?
Yeah.
My man at number 5. Coming back from the dead, everybody. Damien Darhk over on Legends of Tomorrow, man. I mean, listen, I can't front. Like, Damien Darhk, he's been a cool character. He just hasn't gotten a lot of love. Like, I felt like, Arrow season 4, he was great, but the storyline wasn't. Legends of Tomorrow, when he was rolling with the Legion of Doom, like, he was good. He was great as a character, but didn't do much with them. But him coming back on Legends of Tomorrow this week, Arrowverse Week 5, dancing to Return of the Mac, bro.
Yeah,
as he's killing people.
He was
Return of the Mac.
That was the best, the most Palpatine I've seen Damien Darhk, I think, since he was on Arrow. He's flicking people left and right,
Palpatine.
choking people, all that kind of stuff, man. That's what we need to see.
Yeah,
we didn't see that last season when they had him on there.
I agree, man. I agree. He was having fun. You know what I'm saying? He got the chance to have fun. And, that's my number 5, man. Like, it's good to see him back. He's going to be working with Malice. Malice. And, we're going to see what happens. You know what I mean? I hope they do more with this character this time around, because let's be honest, Damien Darhk, one of the most criminally underrated characters, or underused characters in the Arrowverse right now. But I like it, man.
Baller.
On to number 4?
Yes. Number 4.
Boys, you got.
Number 4, for me, is the number 1 customer at the Golden Booty. That's Ralph Dibny. This character kind of came out of left field. I guess I kind of missed the news that they were going to have him on there. It was a bit of a surprise when they had him on there last week.
Yeah.
And I was a bit worried coming into the episode, last week's episode, but
Sure.
I kind of like them. I think they're doing a good job with Elongated Man, right?
Yeah. I mean, DeepBoyce, man. This is how I know we vibe, bro. Because my number 4 was also the Elongated Man, Ralph Dibnosaurus Rex, man. Taking him to the Golden Booty. Like, I mean, listen, it would have been all nice and sweet and all within the vein of Flash. They would have stayed home, watched, This Is Your Life, Barry Allen edition.
Mm-hmm.
For him going to the strip club and the dudes ensuing to have like a crazy, stupid night on the Flash was that was everything I needed. And seeing Barry drunk and talking about chicken wings and talking about he's the Flash, like that was just great. And just to see how much of a scumbag Ralph Dibny is, it's just great, man. A little bit different from like his comic book counterpart, but I'm all for it because I feel like the redemptive arc is going to be that much more worth it just because you get to see him act like a damn fool. And I'm down for him on more Flash episodes, man, without a doubt.
Agreed.
Without a doubt, man. On to number 3?
Yes.
Who's at number 3 for you? I think this is where our power rankings is going to start switching up a little bit. Who's number 3?
It's possible. This is a very late entry on the list. I was kind of thinking about it, but he kind of impressed me, and that's Vigilante.
Okay. All right.
I liked him last season, and they brought him back, and I think they brought him back to good effect. And my man stopped a bullet with his face. My man stopped a bullet with his forehead.
He almost stopped my heart with that, too, because I was like, oh! When he took that bullet to the head, I was like, yo! I mean, listen, man, like, that is a worthy number 3. You know what I'm saying? I'm not going to say anything about Vigilante yet. Yet. But you ain't got to worry, man, because my number 3 is someone who had to do with Vigilante this week on Arrow, and that's Dinah Drake, man. Now, let's be honest. Dinah Drake, she kind of made some silly decisions this week, but it was well done. Like sometimes in the Arrowverse, you see characters make silly decisions just on emotion. We're gonna do that. We're gonna get to that when I talk about the Bumasses this week. Okay, some people just don't really think things through. But with Dinah Drake, she made a decision based on somebody that she had an emotional attachment to, her old partner, who we revealed this week. Spoiler alert. This is spectacular. Spoiler league. Spoiler alert. It's her old partner. Vigilante, I think, touched her in a way that we don't often see this version of Dinah Drake be, acting. I mean, she basically was like, she was a slave to her emotion in air quotes, which is unusual for her. Usually, she's the hard-nosed person going at everybody else about their things. I mean, she's been on Diggle since the season started. Yeah, but she's been.
I think it was reasonable. I think the decision she made was reasonable.
Exactly.
I mean, she found out who it was, and it was like, whoa, what's going on here? Like, there were too many red flags, and she's like, I can't do them in like that.
Exactly.
Makes sense.
And it served to further the overarching storyline with the FBI agent going after the vigilantes in the city and complicating things further for what the team is trying to do, which is stick together and try to stay out of this FBI agent's line of sight, if you will. You know what I mean? But, hey, I'm down for it, man. Who's your number 2?
Number 2 is someone who stepped up in Legends of Tomorrow.
Okay.
And
who's
that's
this?
Sarah Lance.
Okay.
Sarah Lance,
I like
she's really been the most solid character on that show.
Sure.
And I like the decision she made and the role she played in that last episode. And at the end, she was like, yo, Rip, enough is enough. Kicked him off the ship. Held it down.
Kicked him off the ship and turned him in to his new Time Master group. I don't even know what they call themselves. Time Police?
The Time Bureau.
There you go. It's just Time Bureau. There we go.
Rip's trifling. He's been trifling since season 1. Enough is enough.
That's true. That's a good point. And I'm regretting a little bit my list just because I'm like, damn, like Sarah Lance, she really did step up and she showed that she was learning and becoming more of a leader for the Legends. And you're right.
And when they had a whole situation with what's her name, the new character, Shari, is that her name? Zari, right? Yeah. And about going back and saving your family and all that. And she was like, "Listen, I've been there, done that. Trust me, you don't want to do it.
She kept it short with that. It wasn't like she was like, my sister got killed. She was just like, that's the rules. I can't do it. You can't do it. That's that. You know what, Sarah Lance, she deserves to be a number 2, man. I respect that. Isaiah Adams in the chat right now, for those watching the live stream, he called her the Superior Lance. That's what we call her.
Absolutely.
We call her the Superior Lance because her sister, let's just say if she's alive, she'd probably be on our bum ass list this week. Anyway, my number two, y'all, is actually Vigilante. DeepBoyce is number 3. So I mean, I like the fact that we knew that, you know, Vigilante was gonna have a personal tie to somebody on the team. You know, the showrunners have confirmed that with the Arrowverse, you know, with the Arrow season this year, they're basically Team Arrow is basically going to be going up against a team of villains who have personal ties to each member of the Arrow team, Team Arrow. So right now, you know, we've got Kate and James, who obviously be related to Felicity and her actions last season. Now we've got Vigilante and Dinah Drake, and them having a personal connection. Which, and mind you, like Dinah Drake needed this character development, and this is what Arrow's been kind of doing so far this season. Is they've been giving a lot of their characters adequate storylines to make everyone feel involved. You know what I mean? Even though Ollie's kind of sidelined a little bit as not being Green Arrow, like Vigilante stepping in and serving that role for Dinah Drake, I think is excellent. And he had a great showing this week where he was like essentially the Arrowverse version of Red Hood. He's like, yo, we were cops. Me and you were cops, Dinah. And what did we accomplish while we were cops? Nothing. So I'm killing you. And that is essentially the Red Hood argument. And even his origins, where she thought he died, but now he's back. That's Jason Todd in a nutshell. You know what I'm saying? The only difference is she ain't Batman and he ain't Jason Todd. So I'm down for it, and I like what they're doing with Vigilante. The fact that he got a slow build up from last season going into this one just makes it all the more worth it, man. So I'm down for that.
And it is confirmed that he is a meta. He does have meta powers.
Yes.
He's like, I don't know, regenerative or like Wolverine or something like that.
Yeah,
it seems like a retcon. I don't really remember what was going on last season, if he ever got shot up or anything like that. But if he did, it probably explains.
I think he did get shot in the head. I don't think that is a retcon, but the particle accelerator went off during that whole thing with Dinah and him being, you know, essentially tortured by this criminal organization. So that's how she got her powers, and I guess he got his Wolverine powers. So it's been dope, man. It's pretty dope, man. But on to number 1, DeepBoyce.
It's obvious.
Time to round up the list.
This is an obvious one.
It's time to round up. Me and DeepBoyce, tell them my number 1. Because I know you gotta have the same number 1 as I have, man. Tell them my number 1. Tell them your number 1.
Hazy's number 1 in the power rankings for this week. One's gotta go. It is Citizen Steel. No, it's not. It's not Citizen Steel. It's actually Slade Wilson himself, Deathstroke the Terminator. He held it down. Best action sequence, probably this season of any of the shows. I mean, he held it down. Murked them. Scooped them up. Just took them down.
Listen, there was a couple of times where he hit somebody with the sword, and you could tell the sword was like in the arm, between the arm. You know, like that old trick where you stab, where you play swords with your friends, you stab them, they're like, oh, like definitely. But it was phenomenal, bro. Like the whole episode, his flashbacks with him and his son, and him just, you know, hiding secrets, like. But that sequence at the end, bro, like that gave me shades of Manu Bennett back when he was on Spartacus as Crixus, bro. Like even the kicks that he was throwing at people, that was I would be shocked if that was an homage to his Spartacus days, man.
It was one of those scenes where, you know, I just have to get up and start like mimicking and just kicking myself and punching, and then I remember that I'm actually 28 years old and I shouldn't be doing this.
Hopefully you're not mimicking that with real swords, bro.
Oh no,
that's dangerous.
No swords.
No swords, man. We don't condone that stuff, yo. Don't try that at home, everybody.
Just my toy lightsaber. That's it. Listen, don't lie. You had one of those. We all had one of those.
Bro, I couldn't afford no toy lightsabers, bro.
It's the ones that extend.
I was just doing zoom in my house, bro.
I was remote control.
I was like a Mazda commercial, bro. I was like zoom, zoom, zoom. I have no lightsaber blade, bro.
Yeah, that's the hood lightsaber, remote control.
Remote control. But yo, I mean, Deathstroke, and he's coming back next episode because, you know, we got the reveal of Joe Wilson being alive and being in charge of the very organization, the Jackals.
Jackal?
That he was the Jackals. Jackal? Jackals, man. That he was hunting down. He was whooping that ass, man. But Joe Wilson about to get that fatherly ass beating if he don't have an explanation for his pops. Because I mean, that was crazy. That was crazy. He was like, "Hello, father." And Slade was like, he was like, "What?" Like it was like a gut punch, man. But DeepBoyce, man, DeepBoyce, it's time.
It's time to.
It's time for the top 3 bumasses of the week, bro. The lowest, the worst, the straight up wiggity whack characters from the Arrowverse this week. Who is our wah this week, man? DeepBoyce, start us off with number 3.
Number 3. It's gotta be Jasmine, the stripper.
Who's? Oh.
Yeah, I was dying when that happened because I didn't recognize her, and when that scene plays out, I'm like, is this like Joe's ex or who the heck is this? And he's like, oh, it's Jasmine. That's what's his girlfriend's name? I forgot her name.
Cecile.
Cecile. That's Cecile's daughter,
bro.
I'm like, Jasmine, what is you doing?
What is you doing, baby? Oh, Jasmine, baby. What is you doing, baby?
I don't know if they're going to do anything with that, but it was so out of place. Like, it made me laugh. But she's still a bum ass for doing that. She's like, oh, I'm doing it for research purposes to see the blah, blah, blah.
Man,
and I'm like, no, what are you doing?
Nah, man. Joe wasn't playing that, man. He almost whooped that golden booty, man. He almost sent her back to her mom to catch that golden whoop ass. Oh, my gosh. I was like, what are you doing, Jasmine? Yo, I completely forgot about that one. That was good, man. That was good, man. But my number 3 is also from The Flash, sir. Right. And that's Amunet Black's bucket. This lady.
I was wondering, I'm like, does she go everywhere with that bucket?
This lady is walking around with a bucket of metal pieces, bro, to use as her metahuman powers, bro. I'm like, yo, Amunet Black, you could have turned that into a belt or some chainmail or a champion WWE title or something. She's carrying around a bucket, dogs. A bucket, my man, with metal pieces. Bro, I know she's a blacksmith and, you know, like that whole notion, you know, she's, you know, like a smith, like a blacksmith, and she's got like, but I'm talking about a bucket, bro. They couldn't give her a North Face and she could put that in her backpack, a JanSport, put it in her backpack or something.
It was a whack ass bucket too.
It was a whack ass bucket, and she was just dropping it everywhere,
like it always looked out of place. I was just like, what is this? What is that?
I was like, bruh. I was like, damn, man, we need to move on from that, man. That gets a number 3, but otherwise, Amunet Black was alright. Little random, you know, with I forget the actress's name, Katee Sackhoff. Katee Sackhoff doing a British accent, but supposedly she just wanted to add something unique to the character, but. That bucket.
We got a meme building up in the chat.
Oh, everybody's talking about I'm the Flash. Shout outs to Drunk Barry. He should get an honorable mention for my power rankings too, because Drunk Barry was kind of phenomenal, man. I ain't gonna front. But anyway, number 2 for you. Your top 2, your second bum ass of the week, DeepBoyce. Who you got?
This guy is a repeat offender. I'll talk about Citizen Bumass himself, Citizen Steel. Only Citizen Steel can ruin Remember the Mac. Or Return of the Mac, I'm sorry. Look at that. You got me all twisted and messed up right now.
You didn't like his rendition of Return of the Mac.
When it first played, I was cracking up, right? Because the guy was wearing the watch. And then they cut the Citizen Steel singing it. I'm like, oh, come on, man. But then they redeemed themselves by, you know, having like a little fight montage with that. I was like, okay, this is good. I like this song, but Citizen Steel, please, just don't stop. Enough. And did he even like get turned into steel in this episode?
No, he hasn't been turning into steel because they've been finding ways to nerf him. I mean, in this last episode, his nerf was essentially them injecting him with some type of sedative that you know, they were gonna have him passed out, and he said the sedative was messing with his powers. He said it as like a throwaway line. But, I mean, listen, I honestly didn't have a problem with him this week, Citizen Steel, which is rare. I know there's a lot of people in the Spectacular Spoiler League that love him and think he's cool. I mean, I don't understand that, but hey, you know, teach their own, man. Shout outs to Return of the Mac, though, because who doesn't like a little, listen, man, my man Dwayne Caesar Jr., who doesn't like a little bit of Return of the Mac? He's showing love. That song is dope, man. You already know, man. But my number 2, Okay, it's from Supergirl this week. I know we don't talk about Supergirl very often around these parts, but we're gonna talk about Lena Luthor. Okay, because Lena Luthor was on some tomfoolery this week, bro. She was like, you know, she what's his name? Morgan Edge had her thinking that she lead poisoned a bunch of kids, and you know, Kara and Future Rain, I forget her name, her Sam. Sam is her name. They find out, you know, that basically Morgan Edge is behind the poisoning of these kids, the lead poisoning, and Lena Luthor's like, thank God. I was waiting on my conscience. I almost thought I was Luthor for a second. I'm glad I'm nothing like my brother. Then she's like, but Morgan Edge, he has to die. She walks into this man's office with a gun pointed at him, bro. I was like, Lena Luthor, you've never done anything like that since you've been on the show, and now all of a sudden you want to draw guns on people? And then he just clubbed off upside the head. He had to club in the back of the head. It's like, that was interesting. Donk, knocked the ass out. Knocked out. She ended up on a random plane with some chemicals on it. I'm like, Morgan Edge, you a damn fool too, because nobody's gonna tie that plane to you at all when it crashes. Nobody's gonna find Lena Luthor's body amongst a bunch of chemicals that just so happen to have lead in it. Like, come on, but Lena Luthor, you stupid for putting yourself in that situation, man. Lena Luthor's usually pretty okay, but I was just like, you gonna walk into this man's office and just pull out a gun on him?
That was odd.
What did you do?
That was kind of out of left field.
That was out of left field because she's like, listen, she, aside from her, you know, I'm a Luthor issues, she's been fairly level-headed. You know what I'm saying? HR, listen, she's my wife too. Lena Luthor, because I would marry Lena Luthor. That's a beautiful woman. I would love her to be my wife. You know, that's a formal proposal if she's listening. But I mean, that was like, you can't just walk into somebody's office with a gun and then get clubbed in the back of the head like that. What is you doing, baby? On to number one, top Bumasses, Arrowverse week 5. DeepBoyce, lay it down for him.
This might be a bit of a surprise, but this one got me scratching my head when I was kind of thinking through the logic here. Okay. And my number one Bumass for this week has got to be Joe.
Joe West?
Joe West. You know why? They ended up in jail, and my man is a detective.
I'll give you...
My man couldn't pull some strings. He's like, yo, I'm good. It's a misunderstanding. My man was just sitting in jail. He's been on the force for like 20 years. I was like, what is going on? He needed HR to get him out?
Dude, I can't even front. I was thinking the same thing. I forgot about that, though. But you're right. I'm like, yo, Joe, you're a cop. Yeah. Like, you've been on the force. You've been part of Central City PD for mad long. They're not going to listen to you when you tell them, like, yo, I was trying to break up the fight and they came at me? I mean, maybe the only thing that could be a problem was the fact that, I mean, did he have any drinks? I think he was drinking. That's the only problem I could see coming up. The fact that he was drinking. But it didn't even get discussed. I'm like, Joe, you're sitting in jail.
I mean, look, listen.
You're Joe West. You don't get the benefit of the doubt.
Listen, he's got pull. He's got pull. And
well, now he's got a criminal record, too. Put my man in jail, bro. I'm like, damn, bro. Can't have a brother go one run of a show without getting put in jail, man. Damn.
I'm just saying, this is a disturbing reoccurrence going on here. Joe West, he's been on the force for a long time.
Yeah.
You know, I could imagine Joe West becoming commissioner or something at some point, or maybe taking Sin's job.
Now he can't, man, because he got arrested for having a bra scuffle, and he forgot he was a detective in the moment. I'm like, damn, they couldn't have a throwaway line. He's like, oh, I tried to get us out of it, but it was no go.
It's on, like you said, it's on his record. He got into a fight at the Golden Booty.
The chat is right now, and look, we got HR back from the dead over here. HR said, "Rip Joe, 2014 to 2017." Joe, man, you had a good run, but that was a bum. You're right, that's a bum ass moment. That's true, man. But my bum ass this week is a little more practical.
Yeah, okay? And his girlfriend. I'm sorry to interrupt, but his girlfriend's the DA, district attorney.
I forgot. Yes, Cecile is a DA. Like, well, then again, she might not have been reachable. And remember, they put their phones in that basket at the Golden Booty. You know what I'm saying? So presumably, never got their phones back at that point. You know what I'm saying? So he couldn't have contacted her. But my number one bum ass for the week, the top bum ass this week, he's got to be the man who doesn't learn any lessons. Rip freaking Hunter, bro. Rip Hunter. What? Like, I understand you've been chasing this Malice dude for a long time. That's cool. But you're going to let them bring back Damien Darhk? And you're going to expect Sarah Lance to go along with it? I mean, I know he locked them up in the ship and try to, you know, keep them out of his plans. But I'm like, yo, that's the dumbest thing. The Legends are pretty dumb. On a week-to-week basis, the Legends are pretty dumb. I think we can all agree that the Legends make some dumbass mistakes. Yeah. But Rip Hunter, what is you doing, baby? This is Damien Darhk, bro. They literally fought him like twice. Dude is devious, bro. There's no circumstance where you risk that happening. And not only that, his time bureau got owned this week. Owned, bro. So he's responsible for mad people dying. He's responsible for Damien Darhk coming back. And then you got an organization that you create, Rip Hunter, and you're gonna let them arrest you? You're gonna put some type of amendments or laws into effect for this time bureau so that you can not do whatever you want to do?
It's bumassery. It is. You're right.
That's some bumassery, bro. And he deserves to be locked up.
And where's the revolver? No more revolver? That's like the best thing he had.
That gun he had was pretty dope. But Rip was a no. I see Elijah Colbert saying Rip 2015 to 2017. No. Rip was never alive because Rip was always acting like a damn fool from the beginning of Legends, bro. Yeah. And he hasn't learned a damn thing. Rip was always acting a damn fool. But this week I was like, bro, like you finally got rid of an enemy. I know this Malice dude is under your skin, but this is Damien Darhk we're talking about. Anyway, DeepBoyce.
I agree. I totally agree on that one.
Last segment of this here. One's got to go, baby.
Yes.
The creme de la creme of segments, okay? One's got to go, DeepBoyce. One episode this week has got to go. What's your episode?
Oh, man, I'm calling this last minute because there are 3 shows here that are kind of hovering around the same area here in terms of,
wow.
You know, just
3.
You know, honestly,
so I assume Arrow's the one that's got to stay for you.
Yeah, we'll get into that. I'll just say the episodes overall. I'm talking about Flash, Legends Tomorrow, and Supergirl. I don't think they were that bad. No, I don't think they were that bad.
Okay. You're on the clock here, DeepBoyce.
I'm gonna have to go with Supergirl on this one. Yeah.
Don't blame you.
I'm gonna have to go with Supergirl. I didn't think it was that bad. I liked the whole thing with you know, the corporate espionage, the corporate things going on in the background.
Sure.
But I know the whole what's her name? Alex Danvers. That's Karen.
Alex Danvers. Yes.
Yeah. The way I thought that was one of the better parts of the show, her and her relationship. But then how they just suddenly kind of ended it like out of nowhere like that.
I didn't like that they didn't have. It seemed like they jumped into the episode. That's also my one's got to go this week. So I'm gonna just put it. We're gonna talk about that simultaneously. But I didn't like how they just jumped into the middle of the conversation. Like I would have liked. It seemed like when they started the episode, Alex and Maggie had already had an interaction about the not having kids issue being something that could separate them. But I would have loved to see that like original gut punch when Alex first brings it up. Like, I'm sorry, this is not gonna work. You know, I can't have kids. So. While Supergirl was okay this episode, you know, I like the corporate espionage as well. I do feel like Supergirl still hasn't found the identity that Arrow, Flash, and even Legends, you know, has seemed to embrace. Like Legends early on in the season, we were shaky. But I mean, later on, as the season has come and matured, it's been good. Like the humor's been good, the campiness has been good. Like, I like the fact that their gimmick is doing some silliness and having to get themselves out of it. But Supergirl, it just always seems like they're trying to be, they're trying to have an emotional tone, but at the same time keep it, you know, a little bit light. But I'm like at the end of the day, it's just not working.
Yeah,
you know, the slow burn of having everybody be friends with each other, and now this Lena and Jimmy. I told you from the beginning of the season, Lena and Jimmy, they're gonna hook up. I'm just like,
spank them cheeks.
Jimmy gonna get that golden.
But no, I'm totally on board with you. They're far too late into the game. This is season 3. What is the theme? Like, what is this show leading up to? All they really have, the dangling carrot that they have, is Rain. But it's just like
Rain. Sure.
We don't. It's not invigorating enough of a plot element.
Yeah.
Like, okay, so they're gonna reveal her to be, I don't know, a weapon or something, and it's just, and then what?
I mean, at least here's what I can say. Positive, okay? Let's be positive here. At least I can say with Rain, they're building up Sam and making her feel like a worthwhile character. I told you, like, when the season first started, I was a little bit worried about the whole Samantha character and her turning into Rain, because I had shades of Smallville season 8 with Davis Bloom eventually turning into Doomsday. And they built up Davis Bloom as this compelling character who didn't want to be this killer, but by the end he was just like, I'm crazy and I'm suicidal and all this other stuff. Like, it was just like, it was too much. And with Sam, they're giving us a reason to care. You know what I'm saying? And it's gonna suck when she turns into Rain, but they've got to make sure that transition is done, because she's not safe yet. She's not safe for me. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? I won't. If she's a bum ass, I'm gonna put her as a bum ass. You know what I'm saying?
No, I agree. It's just, this is a comic book show, and it has to have a comic book. Like, comic book media is, there's always a part of it that's kind of corny. There's always a flavor of corniness in there. You have to have, again, like in the first season, there was a prison that crash landed alongside with Supergirl, and there was like metahumans everywhere. You know, it's like something to drive us from week to week. The episodes in and of themselves aren't horrible, but it's just it's like, what is the point of the show? I really don't know what's the point of the season.
If you guys had any doubts, keep in mind that Supergirl essentially has 3 heroes. 2 of them, some of the most powerful heroes in DC Comics. They've got Supergirl, they've got Martian Manhunter, or as someone in the chat referred to him as Martian Sleep Hunter, and we've got Bum Ass Guardian. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and they have
we don't see them in action on a week-to-week basis like we do with the other shows, where generally speaking, we see like all the heroes from the shows in action in some type of way. You know what I'm saying? And even and I mean, like, suited up or in the field, the proverbial field. You know what I'm saying? But Supergirl, it seems like it's dragging its feet, and I think that's a problem for
They have a whole universe to themselves, like a whole world. Like, they need to up the scale. Like, the end of last season was good because the whole world was threatened. They need to think bigger. I mean, we get it's National City, supposed to be like Metropolis, but no, just gotta think bigger threats. It can't just be like another plane falling. It's got to be just massive, like just huge. I mean, like you said, Supergirl, Superman, Martian Manhunter, heavy hitters. Yeah, Rain, that's a heavy hitter too. So you have to bring, you know, the end of the world type of drama in there. You have to up the stakes and bring some tension. I think they do a decent job when it comes to character, you know, interactions. Sure. I'll be honest with you. I'm actually kind of surprised to say that. I found a number of characters
I think that's a strong point for the series.
But they have to, they got to give me, you know, like some threats here. Like,
exactly. I mean, I want to touch on 2 points from people in the chat. We've got DB20193. He brought up a good point with Rain. I don't want to see Rain have one bad day and then become evil, just like Silver Banshee. Like, I don't want that situation. Like, Silver Banshee was also another character who got introduced. She had one bad day, and all of a sudden she's just like, "Yo, I hate everybody." It's just like, we need more than that from our characters. And you know, the second thing was the Wayne Caesar Jr. saying that these episodes for Supergirl feel like filler. I wouldn't go that far. Because the 2 primary adversaries this season seem to be Rain, Sam, and Morgan Edge, and they have been at the forefront for a good portion of the season. You know, they detoured a little bit for Martian Manhunter's storyline, but you know, for the most part, I wouldn't quite call it filler. If it does feel like filler in a sense because it's moving very slowly, but I feel like filler is just like having nothing to do with like the ongoing plot. Like, another theme is Kara rediscovering her humanity. Because if you listen to the intro of Supergirl, she's still referring to herself as, you know, my name is Kara Zor-El. Like, she's full on, like, I'm Kryptonian, I'm Supergirl, that's it. So this is a lot about her discovering her humanity too, which I think, you know, is happening, you know, on a week-to-week basis. AMJ, you know, he quoted something, you know, from a comic, which is one bad day was all it took. That is an interesting thing. I think that's from what was that from? The Killing Joke, right? Mm-hmm. The Killing Joke with the Joker. But that's a cool sentiment, and I like that, generally speaking. But I wouldn't say these characters have had enough to crack, so to speak, or for a reasonable person to be like, oh, I totally get that this person cracked under these circumstances. And not only that, not every villain can have one bad day and have that be all it took. You know what I'm saying? Like, there has to be different ways to tackle it. You know what I'm saying? So
and I think also that the theme to that idea of one bad day wasn't just like, oh, I'm evil for the rest of my life. It's like, I'm going to commit this one thing that I usually don't do. Like, the Joker's trying to push Batman to kill him, for example.
Exactly.
That's what he's going for.
Exactly. And it's also a parallel to Batman, because Batman also had one bad day. His parents died. Yeah. And that changed everything. And we can understand that that's enough to shock somebody. But getting metahuman powers, you know what I mean? Like, you need to have some loss, if you will. You know what I'm saying? One might say the loss of a normal life is enough. Sure. But we need to feel that. It needs to be palpable when you're watching these shows. But DeepBoyce, real quick, you're one that's got to stay. It's got to be Arrow. It's got to be Arrow.
It's Arrow.
How can it not be Arrow?
Slade Wilson. The Slade Wilson show.
The Slade Wilson show. Deathstroke, the Terminator, bro. They actually called him the Terminator, man. I mean, Arrow was fantastic this week. Phenomenal. I just love how, like, each week seems to get characters involved in a different way. You know what I mean? Like, the roles are kind of turned with Diggle and Dinah Drake at the moment, where Dinah's sort of cracking under the fact that Vigilante is someone that she had a relationship with and who she saw died, and Diggle's sort of going back into the Diggle role of being, well, you know, I think you need to take a step back from all this. Meanwhile, Diggle's over here coked out on some drugs, just trying to be the Green Arrow.
Word.
But I mean, Deathstroke putting Oliver to sleep. I mean,
bro,
the way Oliver felt, he was like, yeah, like he just like it was hilarious. It was great. Deathstroke's emotional like roller coaster of an episode. I can't wait for him to come back. You know, for next week, man. It was great. It was great, man. It's great. You have anything to say about Arrow, man?
Again, hitting on all cylinders. It's really the one show that I'm like the most excited for every week. I want to see what happens next. I want to see more Deathstroke, and it seems like they're gonna go balls to the walls with Deathstroke, Green Arrow, Jericho or Joe, whatever his name is gonna be on the show.
Definitely. I'm
excited. And now they threw Vigilante into the mix. I want to see what's going on with that.
They made Vigilante. Vigilante was already a cool character.
Yeah. Like,
I always thought he was cool last season, but he's now interesting. Mm-hmm. And, like, them giving him the Red Hood edge, the Red Hood treatment, which is like, yo, like, it's a valid point. It's like, yo, why am I not putting these people down? And let's not forget, this is a point that Oliver once had back in season 1. Oliver went through this story of, yo, why am I not putting these guys down? Like, my father said they're bad guys. You know, my father died. You know, he sacrificed his life so that I could live and do the right thing. So why shouldn't I put these people down? So it'll be interesting to see this character go through that, and Dinah having to learn that why also. You know what I'm saying? Because Dinah, she seems to, you know, he's in her head. He's in her head and he's in her heart. So it's going to be interesting, man. But that being said, guys, we are going to wrap up this week of Arrowverse Week 5 discussions, everybody. Well, you know what to do from now on, okay? You need to hit that subscribe button, first of all. Join up with the Spectacular Spoiler League. You also need to hit that little bell icon next to the subscription button to turn on notifications, because if you don't, I'm going to jump through this camera and I'm going to whoop that ass, because you need to know when these videos come out. And last but not least, drop a freaking like on the video to help this video get out there so we can have some more people enjoy these dope conversations that we have with you guys in the chat and in the comment section for those people watching this video as opposed to it being live. That being said, we getting on out of the hole of spoilers, everybody. We will see you guys next week for some Arrowverse Week 6 conversations. We'll see you guys on the next one, everybody. Peace out.